Is talk about dating at Christmas. It's that time of year when the all the rom-coms come out and you sit and watch them and think, wouldn't that be great if it happened to me? And train doors opening and you meet the love of your life and you live happily ever after. It doesn't always work out like that, actually. So we're going to have a little chat today. We've had loads of questions that we're going to go through. And the reason that I wanted to do these lives, is not that I'm an expert on anything, obvious reasons. I'm single, so that speaks for itself. It's just because the one thing that I found in the house when I went into the house was that it was so nice knowing that there was other people in my situation. And when we came out of the house, a lot of the messages that I got from all of you guys were about, it was so nice seeing other people in the same situation, because I think when you're single, you do kind of feel like you're alone in the situation and you're the only one in the world that's single, when in reality, there's so many single people out there. But it is about how do you find them, how do you connect to them, and then obviously the difficult stuff then starts of how to try and to maintain that. A lot of messages about me and Sharon. Thank you for all of those. Unfortunately for me and Sharon, it didn't work out. Sharon's a beautiful person inside and out. It just didn't work out for us for various reasons. My personal feelings on people asking questions about it, I was more than happy for people to ask questions about that privately, and I'll answer them. But because I think if you put yourself on a TV show, you've got to expect people to be interested. And the fact that I've got all these people that are interested in our lives now, I think it's fantastic, and I find it a real honour to sort of share things with. So I had no problem with people wondering if we were together or asking questions at all. So anyway, moving on. So that's what we're doing in life for all you guys, not just to see like me talking and Zach's
Me sitting there.
the reason Zach's sitting there is I struggle really hard to actually read those, and it's a real good chance that this is when I actually get a conversation out of him as well. So that's the bit I like. A lot of the questions were around, I've sort of grouped them together. When you get older, it's, everyone keeps saying it's harder to meet people, and it is. And the reasons for that is that we've all lived lives to this point. When you're Zach's age going out, and when we were that age going out, you don't think about anything, because you for most of the time we were living at home, or you're just going to work, and you go out on a Saturday, I guess you do, and you meet people. Do you meet people? Do you go out? Yeah. You meet people, and you don't look beyond the next sort of week. I think when you're our age, you do, because there's so much more in your life now, and you have to think about work, distance, family. People use the word baggage. For me personally, I can't stand that word. It just sounds like something you're carrying around, but it's your life. Your kids aren't baggage. They're the best. I mean, he's the best part of me. So for people to meet him, I think it's one of my ace cards, to be honest.
You only play it when you are.
Yeah, this is my son, like me more. So I think a lot of that is about, it is harder, but we know it's harder, but everyone is in the same situation. I'm not going to give you any answers that is going to fit everyone. I think that's the other thing that I've learned, is everybody is different. I've been single a long time, and apart from Zach, who I speak to everything about, and it's always good to have a friend like Zach, because he's not going to tell me what I want to hear a lot of the time. He's going to tell me what he thinks, and that's important. Sometimes I think if you speak to girlfriends or boyfriends, they'll be kind to you, and they won't always give you their honest opinion.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
do you find that?
Yeah, that's true.
And he tells me a lot of stuff that I don't want to hear sometimes. But
because you're comfortable in how you're going to react. It's like, I'm not bothered if you don't like it, because
you don't
going to
care.
hear it. I don't
Exactly,
care.
you don't care. So
Still making me dinner anyway.
yeah, it's always good to have one of those people around. But outside of Zach, no one knows me better than me, because I'm the one that spends all the time with me. So I'm the one that sits in my head, knows how I feel, Like, so if I get advice of people, that advice is probably great for them. It doesn't always suit me. It doesn't mean that I don't listen to it. It may mean I'm stubborn, which I think we all are to a certain degree as we get older, because we know what we want. And I think that's the reason why you find it harder as well. You know what you want, and most of all, you know what you don't want. And to a certain degree, by the time you get to this stage of life, you kind of you want happiness. You don't want someone that's going to make your life more dramatic or get, not add to it. You want something that's easy, and that's hard to find, and that's also hard to give. Because you're not always going to suit other people. So Christmas time, is it a good time to meet people? What do you reckon?
What, Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of days where everyone makes an effort. There's a few times a year where everyone makes an effort to go out. Do you get what I mean? Where you haven't got a good excuse to do something when you don't want to. Like, even your friends, like, you always get... It's those days in Christmas where you always know you're going to see the most majority of your friends, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So I think Christmas time is a great time. I think people are more receptive to love at Christmas as well, because it's a very loving, forgiving time of year. So for me, it's a great time, but you need to be going out, guys. A lot of you have said, like, you're not meeting anyone. You do need to leave your front room. And I found this with me. I would sit there thinking, I'm not meeting anyone. But when I'd looked at what I'd done over the last 5 weeks, apart from work, I hadn't actually stepped outside of the house. So no one is going to knock at your door unless you've got very attractive sort of delivery men that are single and suddenly walk into your life. So you do need to make an effort, and that is hard. It is hard going out. And the reason it's hard going out, from when I spoke to a lot of you, is because finding other single people to go out with. I don't very often go out with single people in terms of actually in a group going out. Most of the time I go out, it's, with my friend and their wife, or my wife and their husband, or my wife, a friend of mine and their husband. And we go out in groups to do that. Go out to enjoy a night out. Don't go out to meet people. I even when I was that age, I never found the nights when I thought, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to meet someone. It never. Personally, I don't think it ever works like that. I think you meet the nicest people when you least expect it. So go out, go to the Christmas party, even if you're on your own. Just be brave. That 20 seconds of brave, just being brave. Go to it, turn up, have a good time, and just be open to it. I think that's the thing this time of year. Just be open to meeting people. I think that's a really big thing. I think if you're closed off, it's not always going to happen. I'm not saying every time you're going to go out, it's going to go happen. So every time you walk into a lift, you're not going to meet the love of your life. But I think that's the most exciting thing about being single. Because a lot of you said, it's hard being single. It is. But the one thing I think, the most exciting thing about single is that you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. So, think of it that way. Like, every day that you wake up could be the day that you meet someone, and that might not work out, but you're always, when people say sort of, I keep meeting people and it doesn't work out. I get that, but you're one step closer to meeting the person that might work out. So just keep persevering with it. Just keep going with it.
A few people have asked, when you say out, when you say out, what do you mean in terms of the people going out? What could that be? In terms of, is that necessarily going to bars or out for dinners, sort of when a lot of people are out during the nights, maybe a Friday or a Saturday night, or is that like a trip to the local high street or walking your dog? Or
Yeah, okay. So I think when people are most receptive, when you get groups of people, is when people make an effort. It's probably more out, but it doesn't have to be sort of necessarily, going to the club still. Although I do like going to the club. I still do like doing that. I wish there was more clubs for like a lot older people. But I think, go to bars and go to restaurants with bars, have a nice meal, go with friends, sit at a table. And if you see someone that catches your eye, then, flirt a little. It's always nice to flirt, and then have a chat. One of the questions we've got is, should girls go over to meet guys?
like approach them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I do think it's difficult though, which you've got good expertise in. Like if you're someone who's single and all your friends are coupled off, be that married or partners, and your friendship group are all together with someone else, aren't they? And when you go out, is it more difficult then if you're the only single person there, sort of going off and approaching people? So I guess it is quite hard.
Yeah, it's always hard.
You've got to be really confident to do it. Or just put yourself out there.
I just think, but don't think about, don't go and chat people up. Just go and say hello. At the very least, I try and say hello to as many people as I can in terms of just every day. I think sometimes you never know, someone might be really down in the dumps, you walk past them, and if you say hello, it's just, they might have just thought, someone's noticed me. So, and that hello might lead to another conversation. It may not, but what have you lost? You've lost a hello. 4 letters. I wouldn't overthink it. I think a lot of times you overthink things. So yeah, I would try and get out to bars. I mean, and go with people that you haven't seen, because at least that way you're catching up. And there's nothing more attractive, I think, than people that are having fun anyway to other people. Don't sit there on your phone looking at your phone. I know the last couple of nights I've had out, I kept thinking, I need to take some photos because it'd be nice to put them on my profile for people to see. And I forget because I get so indulged in the night I'm having. When we was out, we were useless. We took none.
Yeah, we're terrible.
I think we done one with the polar bear when we left. But yeah, but anytime you go out, as long as you're out and making the effort. Dating sites is another one. Now I've done the dating sites. I've done Bumble, and these are not all at the same time, but I did Bumble, which is okay. Bumble, I don't know if it's still the same, but the women used to make most of the moves, which was quite good for the guy, I think, because the women were in control, so you might be comfortable with that. And then I did Hinge, which I thought was okay, and that was sort of someone's got to swipe on you and you've got to swipe on them, and then it's a match. I think they all work roughly the same. What I did find was it's all the same people. You kept seeing the same people all of the time. So I think just find one that you can navigate with, one that works for you. That would be my advice. With your profile, be you. Just be you on your profile. It's really strange actually talking to women, and that was one really good thing in the house was that I got to speak to some gorgeous women about dating, and I got their points of view, and it was really interesting actually. And from a lot of you who've said to me, you want a guy's opinion, so you may not like it, but I'll give you this guy's this guy's opinion. See what you agree with. So when you do your profile pictures, don't use filters. Just don't. Take a picture of you. It's got to be you. If you're going to start changing the shape of your head, changing your nose, taking wrinkles out and blemishing your skin, people are going to expect to meet that.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then because what happens is they start engaging with you, find out you're a lovely person, because I do believe that everyone is a nice person deep down. We do crap stuff sometimes. I don't think anyone means to do it. I just think sometimes you upset people, sometimes people upset you. I don't think really people mean too much by it, apart from the odd exceptions of stories that you've told me. But yeah, just show a picture of you. Get a nice picture, I get that, but also put a picture on that is not your best picture, but it looks
I agree.
It looks like you.
I think everyone should do that.
Everyone should, because because what happens is you'll step out of the station and to meet the guy, and they won't expect to meet you. So what guys do, so profile pictures, this is the other thing. So apparently I'm told, and this might make a lot of you laugh, and is that guys do a lot of pictures with fish. I don't know why, but apparently there's a lot of guys that fish and they show you fish. And I don't think girls want to see fish. Unless they're going to date the fish. It might be a nice looking fish. I know it shows that you're an outdoor sort of person and that you go fishing. But the equivalent that I found for women is headstands. The amount of people that put pictures on doing headstands. It's impressive that you can do a headstand. I get it. But if if you know, guys want to see what you look like, and they don't want to turn the phone upside down because it's just annoying.
Or wear sunglasses.
Oh wait, yeah.
It's like they're hiding from the police.
Yeah, I might have had one of sunglasses.
Just one Max sunglasses.
Yeah, one Max sunglasses. Yeah, but one with sunglasses and a hat. Yeah,
it's like you just can't. What am I looking at?
Yeah, exactly. And I know I know, like, we all want to show the best side of ourselves, but just put something on of you and show you. Okay, because guys are very simple visual creatures.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
all drawn naturally. If you're observing a profile picture, obviously you're only going to be drawn to the physical side before you speak to them and interact with them.
Yeah, because and that's not that men that people I'm going to say are shallow. It's because dating apps, that's all you're going off. Because let's be honest, I can write in my bio that I'm a nuclear scientist and I live in a mansion. I can write what I want. The only thing that you know is going to be what you hope is the truth is that picture. So that picture needs to be of you. You know, just show it of you. And show you the whole you. Don't just show your face, because the first question guys will ask is, "Oh, can you send me a picture of like your body?" And I don't think all of them. There are some of them stupid, but there are some of them that want more. Forget those, delete those, block those. But they want to see what sort of shape you are, what person you are. Guys, the equivalent that guys do is the height thing, and I don't get that.
I was about to say that. What, lie about their height?
The amount of girls that I've spoke to about dating sites, and they say, why do guys lie about their height? Apparently they say they're like 6 foot, 6'2", and they turn up they're 5 foot, 5 foot. You can't get away with that one. You know, you cannot get away with the height one. So don't do the height. You know, we're all the same. Like, we've all got different aspects in terms of women do things, guys do things. But if we all would just put out there what we are, because dating sites are very superficial. Because that's all you're going off is a profile picture. Lots of people said, how do you know a fake site? Oh God, it's hard. That's why I said a couple of text messages. You've got to keep momentum, because if you lose the momentum, it done, because they're going to be speaking to other people. So give out your telephone, or give out your telephone number. I know we're all funny about giving out a telephone number, but let's be honest, in this day and age, I probably get 5 calls a day from people all around the world trying to sell me a window or a door. And God knows that they've got my number. But all I do is block them, and, I never hear from them again. So just treat it like that. If you ring and they can't do anything, then... But you need to speak to them and then FaceTime, because you want to know what they look like.
Yeah.
Anyone that says, like, they don't want to FaceTime, I get that we're nervous, but let's be honest, with work now, I always used to find this quite nerve-wracking doing this, but you get used to it, and people do it for work with Zoom and everything else. So I think, do a FaceTime. If they don't want a FaceTime, me personally, I would worry about that. I'd think, well, if I can't see you, I don't know who you are, so don't send any pictures at all of anything that you think might be taken in the wrong way. I know I was amazed when I speak to girls and women how many guys do it. If you're into that, I guess, then it's your bag, then do it. But if not, I would also question if people are sending you pictures of them that quickly. If you've known them for a while and then you're doing that, then okay. But if they're sending you pictures of them, why are you laughing?
You're talking about dick pics.
Yeah, and
so I was trying to read between the lines.
Yeah, well, you're straightforward. But if guys are sending you pictures within 2 or 3 minutes, like, that gives you an idea of where they want to go with everything, and then you decide what you want to do, I guess. So that's where I'll go with that. So then, see all that and see where you go. But that's the dating sites. First date, when you go out, I've always said meet for coffee. I think it's just easier, because it's short, it's quick, it's not expensive, because that's the other thing with people are saying about dating etiquette. It should have changed with everything else. Today's world is about equality. I think, everyone should be equal. It should be fair. I think guys are still under massive pressure to feel like they need to pay for everything. Do you not? How about, like, is that the same with you guys now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say pressure. I'd say it's the stigma. but it's on your personal opinion or preference if you want to do that.
Which 9 times out of 10 the guys will.
Yeah, I personally always will. But
so dating etiquette, if guys pay, say thank you. That's all you can do and offer. And and I know a lot of women feel very strongly about it, so decide those things before you go. And just say, if you do feel strongly about it and you don't like it, then say, look, we're going to go out for a meal, but I'm telling you now, I'm paying my half. So, you can set the ground rules to begin with. I did have a comment from someone just saying it would be nice if it was like the SAS and you could interrogate the person on the first date. But in some ways, you've got to, not so much as in terms of just fire questions at them, but you need to find out about each other. I think the difference is when you get older, you've not got time to waste. You don't want to waste time. Zach can go out with a girl, for instance, for 2 years, and he's going to be 23 if it finishes. I mean, that if I go out with a girl for 2 years, I'm going to be in a home in a few years' time, probably. So, I haven't got the time to waste. And I guess that's the same as all of us. So you want to know those things and know if you're compatible straight away. Another question I had was, when do you introduce people to kids and everything else? I think it depends upon the age of the kids and you as a person and how your relationship is with the father, mother of the kids as well, because you don't want to cause yourself aggravation, because kids will tell the other half what you're doing, even if you tell them not to, especially if you tell them not to. So I know when Zach was young, I didn't introduce him to anyone. When he got older and understood it more, I would introduce him to people that I'd known for a while. Now he's a lot older. He just meets people anyway. So I don't think it's a big deal. And he's doing the same in terms of going out and meeting people. So I think that's down to you. But again, we're all different. So, you know yourself best. So do your advice. Other people said, and other people have asked me, should you tell people how you feel? It's down to you. Me personally, I understand the playing hard to get. I've never been able to do it. The only time I've been able to do that is really when I'm not that fussed in the first place. And if you meet someone you like, it is very difficult to play hard to get, but you might be very good at that and you might be used to that. So do what works for you. If that's worked for you in the past and you want to do that, then do that. That was a lot of the things that we had. I'm just going through everything else.
Getting over a breakup during Christmas.
Getting over a breakup. Okay. For me, what I've learned is that when you break up with someone, I don't think it matters what they say. The only thing that you need to know is they don't want to be with you. And don't hate them for that. I think genuinely everyone is a nice person. I've had lots of people that don't want to be with me. Too many, actually. But that's been their choice, and you've got to respect their choice. If you start going around and looking back at things and reading all the WhatsApps, trying to work out where it went wrong, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Okay, all you need to know is they don't want to be with you. End of. They and people said about, why do people always cheat on me and this and that. I really don't think people mean to do it. Some people just don't want to hurt people. So what they do is they start something else and don't know how to finish the other thing first. So and it doesn't make it right. Obviously it doesn't make it right. But, I think, don't think about why it's happened to you. Don't think, if they don't want to be with you, bottom line, they don't want to be with you. They want to be happy somewhere else. And why would you want to be with someone that's not happy with you? Or, again, doesn't make you happy? That's the bottom line. So you know what you're worth. Know your self-worth. Know what you can bring to the table. And so trust in that. And if the worst place to be, worse than being single, way worse than being single, is being lonely in a relationship. that's the worst place to be, because you know you're making someone else unhappy, they're making you unhappy, and you can't get out of it. So you know, sometimes being single, the only person you need to please is yourself, which can be a problem, because I've probably done that for a long time. And then letting other people in, then, you know.
Yeah, it gets complicated, doesn't it? Once
Yeah.
you have kids as well, it's, for a lot of people, they're complications, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be. I mean, you try and work through it, obviously, as best you can, but sometimes things just don't work, you know, and it doesn't have to be anyone's fault. But if you're going backwards and forwards with people and you're both still arguing and you can't disagree, that's probably why it hasn't worked out. So just sort of go, well, that's why it hasn't worked out. You know, we don't disagree. We disagree on things and we're never going to see eye to eye. So this just not going to work because you're not going to make me happy. So I think sometimes, you know, that's how you get over breakups. Give yourself some time. Some people want to get straight back on the horse and get out there. Other people just want to have a bit of time to themselves. But it's what works for you. It really is what works for you. Yeah, I know that you can all see all the questions in the feeds, right? People can see all.
Yeah.
So, guys, you know, like I said, this is not about me giving you guys advice per se. Obviously, I will, but it is only my point of view. You might think completely differently to me, but you can see all these people that are putting stuff up. You know, we're all in the same boat. There are lots of people out there that are single. So just know that. Just know that you're not alone. You're really not, you know, and everyone out there wants to meet someone eventually in some way. So it's just finding ways to connect with them. And it does get harder, but I tell you what, it's not going to get easier doing nothing. You know, at least if you're doing something, you're moving forward. You know, you feel like you're moving forward. Got time for a few more questions. Read
right. What is your stance on long distance relationships? Because obviously you just come out of one.
I think if you're going to make it work, you're going to make it work. It makes it harder. Don't get me wrong. It does make it harder. 100%, because you're not always face to face and can talk things out. So you're relying on phones and phone calls, and that can put more pressure on it. But my best friend met his wife in Italy. He used to travel over to Italy all the time. They are one of the happiest couples that I've seen. So it can work. So that, you know, it just depends upon the two people involved, I think, and other circumstances of where you are in life. Saying that, they were both single with no kids. That makes it easier. That makes it easier as well, where you are in your stage of life. If you're still working, you might be retired. If you're retired, it's a lot easier because you've got time. If you find financially stable, is the word?
Yeah, secure.
Yeah. If you're financially secure, you've got the money to travel. So there's all other things that come into play, but I don't think necessarily it's the distance. I think it's the other things that contribute to that. Anything else in that?
Saying like, where's all the single guys on the chat for it seems all single women need to...
Where's all the single... I think because women are more open to talking. And from, you know, I think there are a lot of single guys out there. There's got to be, because there's not more women in the world than men, I don't think. We need to look that up. We need to look that up. But then, you know, they're out there. You've all been with guys and like you're not with them anymore, and they might have moved on. I don't know, but there are single guys out there, and there's more single guys coming up every day. You know, I tell you what, go on to a dating app and look at all the single guys. And I know you're going to say, yeah, not all of them are single, but it's the same. The women aren't always single, but it will give you an idea of, you know, just to make you feel better. I think that was one of the things for me when I first started using the dating apps. I was like, geez, it's endless. You can just keep swiping, which is the other problem with dating apps. It is endless because there is just person after person after person. So keep your net, as it were, small. Just speak to a couple of people. I would say one person at a time before you move on to the next one. Otherwise, it just gets complicated, and you'll be like a kid in a sweet shop. You won't know where to go, and before you know it, they're all gone anyway.
Someone said, "Where are all the guys when we go out? I just see women." That's a great point, because I don't get that.
Well, I'll tell you,
when I got out, I see.
Yeah, we went out the other week, and all there was in there was guys. Honestly, all there was in there was guys. So
every night out, all I see is guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
70, like 80-20 ratio.
Yeah, definitely.
At least.
Yeah, definitely. And the only time that you do see a lot of girls was when you can't do anything about it as well. Yeah. I remember, when I was younger, if I was going out with a girl, I would see loads of girls everywhere.
Oh, that's always the way, isn't it?
But if I went out on my own, there was no one around. Yeah. And I think that's coming back to Christmas again. I think it could be like that at Christmas, that when you go out, it seems like everywhere you look, people are holding hands and kissing and laughing. I would say you never know what goes on behind closed doors, so don't always think it's all roses. And I know, I'm very lucky with my group of friends, and they're in incredible relationships, all of them, and they're all very, very happy. And that's always nice to be around at Christmas. Damn it. No, but at the same time, there are loads of single guys out there. And I know you say find them, but are you going out to find them? They're not just going to knock at your door, guys. You need to go out and try and find them. A couple more before we wrap it up, because I don't want to bore people, which I will start to bore people. A couple more.
Where do we go out?
We tend to go this weekend. I'm going to be local, so for me that is Shenfield, and then we'll probably end up with Billericay. I'm with a couple of mates. I'm going to drag Zach along. He just doesn't know it yet. We love going to Soho, don't we? We go up there.
London.
Yeah, really like there. There's some nice places in Shoreditch. That's where we tend to go out. That's just us, but I know near us in this area, there's loads of towns that, Chelmsford, everywhere, you go out in those places, you see loads of people. So if you're out and about next week near us,
and you're never too old to go out. A few people have said I'm too old to go.
No, oh God, no, it's changed. I tell you what, that's because when I remember, I used to go to a club called Faces that a lot of you will probably know in Gants Hill, and it was all young, and then everyone that was sort of older didn't go in, but there was always one guy in there. I always remember this older guy, and he was a lot older. He wasn't just like 10 years older.
90.
But he was always on his own. No, he wasn't, but he was. He looked like I was going to say he looked like he was in his 50s. Look at me. But I always admired him, and I always thought, not that I want to be that guy going out on my own, but I do want to still do that. But I think people are so much younger than they used to be. I really do. Everyone still wants to go out because things have changed so much. Do you not think?
Yeah, I agree. I envy people who can go out on their own. I think I'd be able to do that.
Or just go
just go. I know loads of people that just older people from the gym just go out on their own on a Saturday. Or just go to a bar on their own. I'm like, good on you.
Yeah, you always see those films where
take it in.
Yeah, you always see the films where there's always a hotel bar, isn't there?
Yeah.
And there's a beautiful looking guy and a gorgeous looking girl
on their own.
Yeah, that's never happened to me, by the way.
Never gonna happen.
But I'm sure that there are people out there. Hey, try it. Go to a hotel bar. The least you're going to have is a nice cocktail. So one more, and then we're going to wrap this up.
How are you doing in terms of dating? What's your plan moving forward to wrap up?
My plan moving forward is just to keep going forward. That is my plan. I said this in one of my myths, which is the little interviews that we did on the show, when I was asked, if it was at a time when Sharon wasn't too sure that what I would do, and I just said, I'll keep moving forward. You take your knocks and then you get up and you move forward, because time's running out. We've only got so many summers left, guys, in us. So don't waste them. Think of it that way. Yeah, do not waste them. we're going to wrap up there. Listen, thank you so much for joining Zach and myself.